Welcome. That musical segment was a cover of Steve Smith's performance on Bud Powell's in Poco Loco. However, before I get into my analysis, please make sure to click the red subscribe button so that you're notified every time I upload a new video and to help me out. I've been a fan of Steve Smith for decades. A few years ago, I did a cover of his solo on one of the songs found on his Vital Information album Fia Fiaga called The Perfect Date. You can check that out by clicking the above banner. I gave a brief biography of his career in that video, so I won't include that here. Instead, I want to bring your attention to Steve's most recent Vital Information album called Time Flies. I gotta be honest, I've been kind of addicted to this record for the last month or so. Steve is playing with a great pianist, Manuel Valera, and bassist Yannick Guizdala. There are also guest appearances from vibraphone player Mike Manieri and George Garzone on sax. I highly recommend you check this album out. Manuel wrote some really interesting arrangements on the album, and I was especially taken by his arrangement of Bud Powell's in Poco Loco. He uses the rhythmic components of Max Roach's groove from the original recording with Bud and applied the melody to it. Steve enhanced the groove and locked into Yannick's new approach to the bass more closely. It's really interesting. Make sure to go to the description below to download a transcription and the 6 interesting elements I found of Steve's playing in the head. I should also mention that this performance of the song is found on the Sonar Tube YouTube channel. So keep watching right here, and here we go. The first thing that got my attention was the one-bar solos that occur in the intro. He has these really nice triplet bass solos that really kind of grab your ear and get the ball rolling, so to speak. So here it is fast. And slow. Now, the thing that's interesting about that is that the bass drum occurs in the middle of the 16th note triplet. And it feels a little awkward. I'm not used to really playing it that way, so I had to, work on that a little bit. The second one, in the second half of the intro, goes like this. And slower. All right, so the next groove, or the next item, is a groove that's inspired by the Max Roach version when he played with Bud Powell. And that version sounds like this. This is the main groove for Max's version. Slow. And this is what Steve gleaned from that. He made it into this as the main groove of the song. And slower. All right. So yeah, that's the main groove of the whole piece. Now there's an interesting that happens in the arrangement where Manuel phrases these lines in groups of 5, and they're kind of interesting. Here's the first one. They're little fills that the whole ensemble plays. And slow. The bass drum marks the beginning of each group of 5. It's kind of interesting. And here's the second version of that, which he plays in 2 other parts of the arrangement. And slow. Cool. So the second bit, there's a bridge section or a B section, and that he plays a mambo, much like Max did, but Steve's approach is much more ride cymbal oriented, whereas Max kept it on the snare drum. Here's how that sounds. And slower. Now, the last interesting phrase that I really like in this part of the head, at the very end, he plays the same ensemble phrase that the rest of the band plays. And I really like the way that he sort of orchestrated it. So this is how it sounds. And slower. Well, there you have it. A quick rundown of Steve Smith's great playing in Poco Loco. Again, check out the Vital Information record called Time Flies. It won't disappoint. He's smoking on it. So if you like this video, please like it and share it. Go to aubreydrumlessons.com to contact me about either online lessons or even right here in my studio. You can always contact me through socials as well. Otherwise, I'll see you down the road. Thanks for watching my video. Really glad you did that. Subscribe and click here if you want more performance and lesson videos.